Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Connect Show. I am one of your hosts today, Kim Knock. Today, we are diving into the extraordinary world of small business owners. They're unsung heroes of our economy, and I can't wait to share their incredible stories with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Osterling, the creative mind behind A Stupid Good World, Stupid Good Food, and the Where You're At clothing line. And I am one of those incredible small business owners. Think about the last time that you strolled through your neighborhood enjoying a quaint cafe, charming boutiques, and the unique stores. Behind every one of those storefronts is a small business owner pouring their heart and soul into their dreams. I want to introduce the other hosts today. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you, Charlene. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Little background on me. I work for Direct Drive Logistics, an awesome company located here in Milwaukee. For Direct Drive, we help manufacturing companies move their freight locally, nationally, and internationally. And then for the last 10 years, I've had a company called Think Local, and we've created a platform exclusively for our locally owned and operated businesses to get them more attention and awareness. And it so aligns with what we're doing here. So.
These remarkable individuals are more than entrepreneurs. They're risk takers, dreamers, and community builders. They wake up before dawn, brew the coffee, roll up their sleeves, and set out to make a difference.
Their stories are inspiring beyond measure. From humble beginnings in the garage, probably couch surfing on friends' couches and living rooms, to building thriving enterprises. Small business owners are the true champions of resilience.
We are always looking for sponsors and people who would like to support these small business owners. And we'd also like to thank our hosting sponsor, Expansive Workspace, where we broadcast the Connect Show. Expansive is a wonderful place to work and a great community to be a part of. Check them out in Tosa and downtown Milwaukee and visit them at expansive.com.
And as always, we're very thankful that you've come to watch the Connect Show. If you have a topic that you think we should be discussing, please email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com.
Today, we are so excited to welcome in our guests, Scott Graham and Amanda Williams, both focus coaching and websites, something we all need, focus coaching especially.
Right?
Everyone, the Connect Show is better when it's interactive, so please add your comments in the chat. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. It's easy to find us. We'll bring them up and add them to the conversation, and this is a great opportunity to get expert advice to help grow your business.
Our thanks to last week's guests, Samantha Bushman and Aaron Zimdars Gagnon, Cheese Curds and Marketing, or Marketing Cheese Curds. I don't know. Really, is there any better partner? Great hearing about the tasty cheese curds. I got to have some this weekend. Entrepreneurship and business to business or B2B success stories.
We're all volunteers here at the Connect Show. If you like the show and you'd like to get involved, please email ideas@theconnectshow.com. I want to thank everyone involved, even those of you who contribute via chat, because we are all in this together.
Yeah.
So I started the evolution of change this week and had the pleasure of interviewing a woman at her business called Maluminate, which cool. It's this big picture vision of healing people from the inside out.
Oh.
So I actually came on board as a personal move guide, which the movement guides are personal trainers of other gyms. So while we're going through, we're moving energy, she clears people, there's massage therapy, there's essential oil classes.
Oh my God, this aligns with you so well.
I know.
Holy cow.
So it all came after I met John and that aligned.
Yeah.
And so interviewing her and learning more about her story was just amazing. She never worked out a day in her life and somehow decided her business was going to be personal training.
Oh my God.
And so she was at a chiropractic office doing wellness and kind of fell in love with it and told the man she was working for she wanted her own studio, and he kind of made fun of her and it lit a fire under her and she went out and did it.
The best.
Yeah. And then she really thrived during COVID. And the building they bought, her and her husband, was for a different business. And it led her right into her evolution of change.
Fell right into play. Wow.
So now it's all renovated and pretty amazing space. And the people I'm seeing coming in and out of there are going through healing modalities. They're having fun. They're doing the homework. a lot of them are training with me and getting the detox of the movement after they do the healing. It's full circle. It's just amazing.
Amazing. And we have a little bit of that interview to share with the audience today. John, can you put that in for us?
Hi, my name is Betsy, and I'm here to share my evolution to change, and that's through Illuminate. So I'm going to have you follow me. So it all started with personal training. I wanted to make a difference in people's lives, and I didn't know how, and personal training became a passion for me. So working out, fitness, because you got to get your body right. Well, as that progressed, Illuminate grew. And we started adding a ton of different aspects to it. So we went from just personal training, and it then became my calling. So that was just a passion. That was just, a little something that I wanted to do. And then my calling came out. And my degree came into play, because now I do trauma coaching. Becoming a healer isn't something people seek to be. It is a true calling, and those that are healers tend to go through the most trauma. But it's when we take that trauma and we choose to grow from it and look at it as experiences, that's when we really shift. And that's something that we do here at Illuminate. We help you shift. We don't have personal trainers anymore. We have movement guides. So this is something that we all work together to help movement and to help you grow in mind, body, and spirit. As cliche as I don't like that saying, but it is what we offer here. And so opening my business was my evolution to change. But now it has become my calling to help other people evolve and find their purpose. So thank you so much for listening to my story, and I hope to see some of you soon. Thank you.
I cannot wait to hear more of her story. Do you know, is this broadcasting anywhere else, or was this just brand new interview? Will we find this somewhere else
Not
coming
yet,
up soon? But coming soon.
But I believe she's going to be a guest on the Connect show,
Yes.
and then on the Mind Body Abundance as well.
Amazing.
Big
Little
picture.
Mind Body Abundance plug, little Connect show,
Yeah.
little Illuminate.
Illuminate.
That's fun. I like it.
Her name was different, and I won't tell you what it was, but it had kind of a bad connotation with some people in that world, and so she shifted it, but still trying to get Google to get her real name up.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of
Takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
So amazing.
I think
love
it's
it.
great how just a simple video like that, and you really get to know her.
Yeah.
You get to know her passion, her heart, and why she does what she does. And that's so simple and so powerful. So great job getting that.
Yeah. She you could walk into her place and have a hi conversation, and she'll tell you 10 things about yourself that you're just blown away, because her gift is that powerful.
Right.
I did a shamanic clearing and a quantum healing with her. It's a 2-hour process. And I remember part of it laying on the table, and the energy was moving out of my body, and I had no control over what I was saying, what I felt. It was one of the most amazing.
Wow.
And I've been through a lot of healing modalities. It was getting rid of all the stuff.
Unbelievable.
So amazing. So
Unbelievable.
amazing. Yeah.
Let's go to our quote of the day. So this is from Bob Nelson. You get the best effort from others, not by lighting a fire beneath them, but by building a fire within. I totally agree with that. You have to get the people to move on their own. We can't make people do anything. You got to get them to see the why and to be able to really want it and to go after it. And that's what gets us to work so hard every day.
Absolutely. I 1000% believe in that. And especially a lot of times, you're not going to force an entrepreneur to start their own thing. They have to have the want, the drive, the give it to me, or they're probably going to fail.
Well, it's the same thing with team members.
Yes.
Team members, family members, anybody, you have to get them to go, I want to do this. I see the value. I see the reward. I see what it brings to the team.
And they might initially do it, but it doesn't mean that they're going to come back and do it again,
Right.
or take more from it. So I
Right.
think that's a great quote of the day. So who likes questions? Who likes honest, thought out answers? Here's our question of the day. What do you need or want to invest in your business right now? What will it take to figure out how and what you need to invest in?
Such a good question, because self included, so many entrepreneurs try and force what they think is right. And Maluminate's a good example, because the more you get still and listen, the answers all come to you. And it's about the whole fire thing is not setting someone on fire, but leading by example.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're the best. Don't always look for mentors and guides, and don't become the mentor. Like, take the advice and move forward with how you're led to do it. And those times to recognize when you're forcing things, and when you stop doing that, everything you need shows up in front of you and the dots connect.
Yes.
It's like magic.
Right.
And you think, oh, well, it was just, look at how that worked. But I mean, did you manifest it? Did it work together? Did you bring the drive in to make it happen? What happened?
We can work so hard sometimes and achieve so little. And other times we're like, I'm doing the right things at the right time, and I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And if we keep tackling those things each day, it's going to be good days, good weeks.
So, I mean, I just want, what do I want in or to invest in my business right now? I want it all, but I can't have it all. So talking with people to figuring out those top priorities to make the other things fall in line is where I feel like I need to invest my most time in. Is where are the pieces going to, I do this, some of the pieces will naturally fall into place. So I didn't do it backwards, and now I'm putting all those pieces in on my own. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that's a huge important point, because time is our greatest investment.
Yes.
And it's the one commodity we can't get back.
So
people think, oh, I need an investment. I need money. And then the money comes, they have no idea what to do with it.
Yes.
And now the business is standing still, and you're like, oh, I had all this time. But that's the cart before the horse. It's really honing in on your vision, talking to people who are successful, that have honed in, that know the mission, the vision, laying all that stuff out. So for me, it's, I'm a few steps away from the investment, and I'm still working on the focus thing to get my time right. So all the things are laid out. Then when the money comes in, it's like, it's spent here, it's spent here, it's spent here. And already you're making money on that money.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's, you're thinking of the starting point, but you're not thinking of the end point. And it's really important to think of where you want to see it go, so you can fill in the middle, right? Like, it's not just, the middle's going to happen regardless whether you think of the end or not, but is the middle going to be super hard, or can you make it work?
You have that clear plan, and just the baby steps in between. For me, it's always, where do I need to invest? It's kind of, what's my biggest pain point? Yeah. My biggest stressor right now is just time to connect with people. That organic social media interaction. I'm like, I don't have a lot of time. So it's trying to engage, and for me to look at it and go, how can I find that help and look for that? And it's a slow process. To, it's trying to get things moving. You always want things faster, and it's like, nope, it slowly transitions into where we want it to go. As long as we know those points in between, we can keep moving forward on that path. So
my greatest mentor said to me, the first thing I remember, I'll never forget, know how you're getting out before you get in. It was so profound. It was just
get your exit strategy in place. Is this a generational thing, or is it going to go and stay with you, and that's it? And figure it out. That's smart. I like it. It looks like we have some quiet chat, but Amanda, who is our upcoming guest, is the digital marketer from Illuminate.
What?
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Oh,
So
Amanda
we'll
and I
to
have
her
already communicated.
Have you
Yes.
seen a look at that? Look
Yay.
at that.
I love Connect.
Isn't that great? I love how the world just collides. It's good. It's so good.
I think we are ready for our first special small business segment with Heike. So let's turn over to that. John's got that transition.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Heike's LinkedIn Insights. I help entrepreneurs and career changers take their LinkedIn profiles from blah to magnetic. Today, let's focus on two small but helpful features in your personal profile's header section. The header section is really the very top of your LinkedIn profile that includes the banner, your headshot, your profile's headline. But some of those we talked about before, and some will come in future episodes. Today, let's focus on two little simple things. Number one, you can record your name. Now, LinkedIn actually gives you 30 seconds, which means you can make that a mini commercial. It's helpful to record your name because even if you have a simple name like Susan Smith, people might want to hear your voice. They might want to hear if you're smiling while you're talking, because as you know from being on the phone, you can tell the difference between someone smiling and frowning while they're talking to you. You can get a vibe from someone. It's also helpful to be able to add a little something behind your name. So in my case, it's Heike Haim on the LinkedIn Coach. What would be a mini commercial for you? Try to summarize what you do or who you help into 30 seconds, including your name. That would be a great thing to do. Now, you do have to do that on your phone. You cannot record your name on the computer, so you have to download the LinkedIn app to do that. Another place where this recording feature comes in is when you go meet with somebody else and you're not sure about how to pronounce their name. So he, him, or they, them, that's really how they prefer to be addressed. Why is that important? You're showing some respect for those people who maybe physically are a little more androgynous and might get confused by someone for one gender versus the one they actually prefer to be addressed at. So you're showing respect for other people by mentioning or by showing on your LinkedIn profile what your own personal pronouns are. In my case, it's she and her. And that way other people know that I understand the ramifications. So to summarize, remember to record your name and a tiny tagline and to activate your pronouns on your LinkedIn profile. And of course, connect with me on LinkedIn for more tips. See you next week.
Thank you, Heike, for the awesome tips on LinkedIn. Our first guest today is Mr. Scott Graham. Scott is an author, a career coach, a business coach located in Boston, Massachusetts. Scott is driven to help clients follow their true Azimuth, which is different from true north. It means coaching clients to identify the true focus of their life, something that speaks individually to them.
It means recognizing the focus that push our lives off course and adjusting to them so that you can get where you want to go. It means that when you're 90 years old and you look back on your life, you have some sense of pride, accomplishment, and meaning with no regrets. Key facts about Scott. He's the founder of True Azimuth Coaching. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Scott. Willoughby Rescue, Vermont, New Hampshire, DOT SAP services, and he hosts Follow Your True Azimuth podcast. Oh my God, he's going to tell us how to say that. Scott, I was all happy you had that word.
Scott,
not me.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Connect Show. How are you today?
Pretty good. I'd be better if you pronounced the name correctly, but it could be worse. You know, I was on a podcast in Florida, and she thought New England, didn't read the name of my business correctly, and thought, what's in New England? Bears, deers. So she's like, this is Scott. He's from True as a Moose coaching. And there are no moose in my coaching process. And you were correct in the last pronunciation. It's azimuth. True azimuth. All the points on the compass, there's 360 of them. It's in a circle, is an azimuth. Each one of those is an azimuth.
I love that lesson. Thank you so much. And my apologies.
You're welcome. You've already done it. Now I can go home. I've done my duty.
I love it. I love it.
Scott, so one of the things we start with is we really want to kind of ask the question back to you, the audience question. What do you need or want to invest in your business right now? And what will it take to figure it out how? And what do you need to invest in?
My biggest piece that I work on in my business is managing multiple priorities, not just in the coaching practice, but I'm also working on writing books and doing all kinds of other things. And so I engage a lot of times in plate spinning, meaning, I've got one plate going over here, another plate going over here. And then when I get to 4, 5, and 6, I become chaotic. And so what really helps me is I belong to a mastermind group, a private group. None of us pay to belong to the group. We formed it ourselves, and people come and go. And that group really keeps me in line, especially Andrea Scott Brown, who is the person who told me about this Connect show and pushed me to come on board. She was on this show.
With Andrea Scott Brown, we've seen a lot of her in the past, and I've seen her walking around the building. And I love Andrea Scott Brown. If you're not familiar with her, you have to meet her. She's a great person.
I think it's neat how you talk about the accountability and the peer support and the structures, and how when we're busy, it's neat to talk with others in different mission, but similar day-to-day roles, and to be able to just talk and encourage and learn from each other. And that's great.
Mm-hmm. And I love
the other piece that happens in that relationship is that they have a longitudinal experience of who you are, and no investment on how you should be. So their feedback is really pure, and they can tap into your history from 6 months, a year, 2 years ago, which is really invaluable.
I absolutely love that. And I love the mastermind aspect of it also, just for the accountability alone. Because they're going to come back to you the next time you meet and say, okay, Scott, did you do this or not? Tell me.
Andrea does that. She taps on the table like that. And she's like, do that.
I love it. I love it. So you mentioned publishing books. You've published a lot of books. What are you currently working on, and why should someone choose to write a book?
I am working on my 18th, 19th, and 20th book at the same time. And one of those books is teaching your dog how to stand up paddleboard, and I'm putting together a video series for it. There's not a lot of information out there on how to teach your dog how to stand up paddleboard. In fact, there's just basically a video on getting your dog on the board. And so I got a book and a video process coming out all about that. And the other book that I'm working on is taking the 8 precepts. There's precepts that Buddhist practitioners make when they go on long-term meditation and pilgrimages. I'm taking those 8 precepts and writing a book about how to integrate them and make them come alive in your life. And I'm doing a really short kind of book, maybe 12, 15,000 words on for people that have campers and are camping. RVs are really popular these days. Hacking those things to make that stuff more exciting and successful.
That is all over the place, and I love it.
Yeah.
We've got mind, body, we've got physical, and living. It's amazing.
To me, it's one of the greatest things when we're just a creator and you just keep creating, and you've got an idea. Don't just think about it, put it into reality, because it can provide great value. And what's neat is when you create that and you put it out there and you start getting the feedback of people to say that, thank you for creating that. It really helped me. And that's the part that keeps us going, we keep creating because we want somebody to appreciate the work we're doing.
And you're going to go somewhere with this video and book thing, because everyone's visual nowadays. So I'm excited.
One of the books I wrote, where is this book? I wrote a book on your bucket list. And it was basically came about from coaching clients who really struggled trying to figure out their life mission and their purpose. And they would sit down and say, I don't know what my purpose is. And so you go through this bucket list process and identify these things that you'd like to do someday in your life. Everybody's pretty good at that. There's lots of resources on the internet. And then what you do is you reverse engineer your current life values that reflect those things on your bucket list. And then you live those current life values, and you can take your bucket list and throw it away because you don't need it anymore. Because who cares whether you're doing these things, because you're living in a lifestyle that is in alignment with what you want to do, and you get there automatically.
Unbelievable. I'm feeling all this today.
Scott, tell us about the concept that you teach your clients about early warning systems.
Yeah, so that's another book that is in the pipeline of work that I've been doing. Most folks are very familiar with the E-Myth and creating systems for your business. I mean, Michael Gerber and E-Myth coaches are all over the place. But the E-Myth misses one critical component, and that's an early warning system. And so what's an early warning system? We have them around us all the time. We have early warning systems for things as complicated as earthquakes, and we have early warning systems for things that are as complicated as hurricanes. And then we have early warning systems in our cars every day that let us know when the tire pressure is low, when the engine oil is off, when the airbags aren't working, and a whole host of other things. That's the missing piece that most entrepreneurs do not have in your business. You want to have and create the equivalent of a check engine light for your business, so that when you're sitting on the beach or your business is doing its own thing and you are off doing charity work or another entrepreneurial effort, you can quickly look and say, something's off. You might not know exactly what's off, but you know that something's off. And you can then dig deeper, just, like the engine light doesn't tell you what's wrong with the engine. You got to dig deeper. You dig deeper, and then you find out, okay, there's a potential here. Somebody's stealing money from the company and you don't know it. Or some people aren't getting their packages on time, or you have a staff member who is swearing at people and alienating future customers. Those are all examples of things that will deteriorate and destroy your business over time. And you want to know that before it becomes a big problem.
Recognize it, see that it's happening. I like that check engine light comparison, because it's like, you don't know what the problem is. You felt the problem. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore that feeling.
That is exactly it. And the interesting thing is that businesses are all unique. And so you really can't say, all right, here's the product you need to, if you run this product, or if you do this report from QuickBooks, or this, KPI piece, you're going to have an idea of what you need to focus on your business. You got to figure that stuff out from scratch and then put it in place so that you can have your thumb on the pulse of the business without having to be in the business 24/7.
I think that's great. And that's what you need, those early detection to go, warning, get it back on track before it becomes a hazard.
Absolutely.
That's exactly it.
So what is brand SERP, and why should a business owner or executive want to leverage it? And how do you go about expanding your brand SERP?
Wow, you guys got questions from all over the place. So another piece that I work on and help with, you can really see this if you search your name on Google. And oftentimes information comes up, Google says, oh, this person's important, like a president, Obama, Trump, doesn't matter, Biden, doesn't. You type in their name and Google puts this sidebar called, a knowledge graph or an information graph that has really pertinent links that Google thinks the end user wants to know. Videos, books, websites, when they were born, all this other stuff. This is completely different, and I can't emphasize this enough. This is not a Google business page. Places can create a page for their Google business on Google, and you can put it up there and collect reviews. That's not what I'm talking about here. A knowledge graph and brand SERP takes your critical information and puts it center stage so that Google can see what that is. They will, even if you've done enough things, like I said, videos or books, they will put these information pills that you just click on to see the books, or you click on to see the videos. And it's changing and it's dynamic. So you can't, like, you can edit your business profile page and there it is. And unless something comes up, Google's going to keep that pretty static. Or if there's a change, they'll email you and say, what's going on? With your information page in brand SERP, when you're focused on that stuff, you are actually seeding your websites so that Google knows this website belongs to Scott Graham. This website belongs to Scott Graham. This website belongs to Scott Graham. And then that information gets pulled in. And if you're important enough, Google will then create this information block. You can make yourself important enough so you don't have to sit around and say, oh, I have to wait till I get a Wikipedia page or something. You can make yourself important enough so that Google then sees you in a certain way and then creates these pages about you. That's what brand SERP is all about.
Amazing.
What's the first step in that process for people?
The first step is to start putting consistent information across all of your pages so that Google knows who you are. Your same name, like I have an about me page on every single website, and the first pieces of that about me page reflects the information that you read at the beginning of this piece. Scott Graham is a coach from Boston, Massachusetts. His desire is to help people follow their true Azimuth or Azimuth, however you are, and which means at 90 you'll be blah, 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 blah. Google sees those things. Google hears those things like you just said it and connects them all and pulls them in. So you got to have a brand. You have to know what your brand is and what that's all about.
Maybe it's along the same lines that you're saying there. Maybe it's completely different. But what is one tip that you would like to give a new business owner?
The biggest tip that I would come back to this piece that I talked about, early warning systems. If you're a new business owner, it is to your benefit to keep a journal and start writing the learnings that you're having along your business experience in that journal. And that journal might be focused on accounting pieces that you're making notes of. It might be focused on system pieces that you need to be putting in place. And that journal will end up driving your early warning system design. Jim Rohn said he started off his life with all these books to read about his business, and he kept a journal. And by the end of his life, all those books were gone, replaced with his own books in his own writing that he had put together from his life.
We circle back to journaling all the time, and I just need to do it.
If we write down the most important things.
Yes.
Like the things that we need to do. We're like, gotta get that down so it's out of my mind. And then we're like, look back at it.
I take a tremendous amount of notes, but not journaling. So
the trouble is that most people think they have to write a Bible when they sit down to journal. It's the same piece you asked about writing earlier and becoming an author. People think, oh, I can never do that because I have to sit down and write 400 pages. You just have to sit down and write. You just have to open up the journal and say once a week, if you sat down and opened up a book that you got from Amazon or an open line book, and each week you said, what's my learnings of the week? What's the moral of the story? And that's all you wrote. At the end of a year, you would have a gem of a reference point.
I like that. I like that. And that's a nice, simple way to get started.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Right.
So you've wrote a bunch of books. You've been in business for a while. Tell us about one failure that turned into a big success for you.
I think a failure for me that turned into a success was my own struggle with time management and trying to figure out how to manage. We say, I don't have enough time, when really we do have enough time. It's the choices that we make along the way that are really critical. So as I struggled to figure out what I needed to do, I just jotted these things down. And over a couple years, where's this book? Look at that. Next thing you know, I have a book on time management. Make time your superhero power. And it was a really compelling book to write. And now I've gotten such good feedback and thoughts from folks around it. And now this book's completely free. Not the printed version, but the ebook version.
Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have an offer or an event that you'd like to share with our audience?
If people are interested in working with me, what I would suggest you do is go to my website, trueazimuth.biz, and clicking on the test drive and taking me out for a ride and seeing what I'm all about.
That's awesome.
And we do have a page on the website for him. If you go to theconnectshow.com and look at the past guests, you will find how to connect with Scott, which will take you right back to his website. So thank you so much.
Keep up all
Hey,
the
you're
great
welcome.
work, Scott. Thank you.
Appreciate
Good to meet
it.
you.
Good to meet you.
And we are ready for our second special biz segment with Miss Charlene. Take it away, Charlene.
Thanks, Kim. So I'm going to play Word Wars today because I know Kim loves that. And I'm going to say business versus purpose. And this whole thing is laid out, but Scott pretty much nailed it. So I have always reverse engineered my life and not known it. And I don't recommend you do that, but my purpose has always been. So it's always been a really hard thing for me to understand that I'm running a business because everything I'm doing is what I've been blessed with the blueprints to do. That's not always the case. So let's say you want freedom and you go start a business. It doesn't always align with your purpose, but every choice you make for that business can be a dot that connects to get you to your purpose and how to intertwine the two. And they may not even be related. They could be two completely different things, but the business and the purpose, once intertwined, basically give you the freedom, the time, everything that you've always put on your wish list, and also provide a paycheck, which is essential. But when you flip the script on that, what you love to do becomes what you do naturally. So if you can get your business right, which is what I would recommend, because now I'm getting my business right and I have the whole map drawn out. So it's a little bit different for me to shift my mindset, which is what you need to do to go from business to purpose or purpose to business. Once you shift your mindset and you're open and willing to go to that place, to learn from mentors, to not become the mentor, to take the information that's pertinent and make it knowledge, the rest of it's just information, you get rid of it. No matter how many businesses have been successful, if it doesn't pertain to yours, it's just information. So it's a knowledge point. It's actually having a meaning behind not getting tired every day to retire, but to actually create a purposeful business that not only gives you a paycheck, but also teaches you how to leave a legacy.
I absolutely love Charlene's Word Wars. She always has them. They're always off the wall. And then you think about it and you're like, that makes perfect sense. I'd never thought of it. So thank you so much, Charlene. I appreciate it. Up next, we have guest Amanda Williams. Meet Amanda, an exceptional digital marketing professional boasting an extensive background collaborating, love that word, with agencies, brands, startups, and consulting firms. Possessing over a decade of expertise in the field, Amanda astutely identified a gap in the market.
Driven by her passion to empower small businesses with limited budgets, she took the plunge and founded Prix Fix Marketing, an innovative fixed price marketing agency dedicated to fueling the growth of budding enterprises. Love that.
Love
So welcome to the show, Amanda.
Hello. Thank you.
It's good to have you on the show. So back to the question here, how did your background in digital marketing industry influence the development of Prix Fix concept?
Yeah, it's prefix. I know it's a different
Prefix.
yeah, prefix. It's okay. That's okay. Just like kind of the menu,
Yeah.
when you have something. So that's actually kind of where we came up with this. So I have been working, I have a background in agency, startups, and consulting for the last 10 years. And I just really, after speaking with over 100 different brands, and business owners, I just kind of realized that there was a hole in what marketing offers. And for a lot of small business, owners, we all know there's kind of a roller coaster we all kind of go on. There's ups and downs constantly. And one of the, frustrations that I would hear from small business owners was they either felt like the agency or the freelancer that they were working with just didn't understand what they needed. And they weren't able, either they signed a contract that would go for too long and wasn't able to really touch base and really kind of optimize what they're looking for. And so that's why I created Prefix. And what's really, again, a small world, I actually, before creating Prefix, which we've only just launched the last 4 months, I've been a digital marketer, and one of my clients is Illuminate. And I've had a couple of different clients here in Milwaukee as well, well-known clients that I also have helped. So just kind of through those experiences of helping all these small businesses, I've learned that, there's some gaps in the services. And I don't think that people should be prevented from marketing. And I think a lot of small businesses feel that way because they have a smaller budget. They're like, I can't be on social media as much as a large corporation like Target. And that's not necessarily true. Actually, a little bit of marketing actually does make you go a long way. You just have to be consistent. And you need to have a, consistent presence out there. So even if it's just a little bit, you can make a difference for your business.
Absolutely. Consistency is key. Do what you can, whether it's 1 time a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 days a week, whatever it is. See, look at, there's a consistency.
Yes.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Amanda, I love your passion.
That was Mitch Nellis's word of the year. Yes. I love it.
You can hear it, just your desire to really make an impact for people, find the need and go, there's solutions there. What do you need done?
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I've worked at some very large agencies and large companies, and no matter what the retainer, however they were, expensing my time, or whatnot, I can still, it was always still, whether it's a $10,000 budget for an agency or a $2,000 budget, it was always the same service. And that's when I realized, small businesses are kind of missing out on this because they feel like they can't afford it. And so how can I make sure that I create an agency where small businesses truly can get these marketing? And that's why I created these tiers. So they're monthly marketing packages. And there's 5 tiers so far. And really the first one starts at $500 a month, which again is not a lot of money for a marketing budget. That actually also includes a paid ad as well. So, I'm trying to keep it so that people feel like it's something that they can manage. But again, if they need to move up, which sustainably, I feel like sometimes we bite off more than we can chew as small business owners, especially when they're looking at agencies. They kind of take on a little too much. And so, yeah, I think, excuse me, really focusing on things that are optimized and really attainable for these small businesses within their budgets.
Customization is possible with a fixed price marketing package to those small businesses.
Yeah, they are. I think that at the end of the day, we're looking at, we kind of create a, through my 10 years of experience, I've really been able to figure out what is the best way for hyper wins and targeted results. And so again, consistency actually is one of the big proponents that I've seen through all of the companies that I've worked for. And so I think it's really important. Whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Reddit, wherever you think your audience is, that's where we'll help you determine. And then we can customize these packages to go towards where your audience is currently.
Over $100 a week with an ad in there, you can have a consistent, planned out strategy with somebody that's experienced and going to look out for your interest. So how does Prefix Marketing's approach to hyper-targeted strategies with consistency set it apart from other marketing agencies, and how does it benefit the businesses in achieving their goals?
That's a great question. I think that it really helps. It shows that, we really need an overall strategy. So consistency, as I said, is just such an important part of all of this. So, whether it's you're posting twice a week or you're posting 5 times a week, when we're able to create these packages and these companies come in and they're taking advantage of them, then we can kind of move them up in the platform, but that also is the ROI as well. So, they're only moving up to a next tier when they're seeing the results themselves. It's not taking a huge risk on their budget, basically. Another thing that we offer too is something called an a la carte menu. Again, it's something that I found that a lot of companies are struggling with, is they will later on find that they had a payment, they were charged for something they didn't realize they were going to be charged for, whether it was an email marketing campaign they discussed but didn't realize it was out of scope. So now they were being charged $1,000 for this extra campaign. I created this a la carte menu so that people could see and test and make mistakes, and really kind of test and see what is my audience like and what can my audience do, and still have that consistent effort on the social media and the hyper targeted strategies.
That's great, Amanda. Thank you so much for being on the show. Is there any special offers that you have for the audience today or an upcoming event?
Yeah, I would love for you to come, check out our website. We also just started we have kind of a joke around here where I could say that we only work with small potatoes, because, that's what I hear from my clients all the time. So we just created a Facebook group called Small Spud Marketing Support. So we're hoping to just kind of create a networking group for small business owners where they can ask questions about their marketing. And we'll also give tips and tricks on things that we have seen and done that have worked for other people.
That's great. I love going back to the connections and relationships and bringing people together to share ideas and grow in it. So it's neat to see that. So we have a website for you too, Amanda. You can check that out at theconnectshow.com, Amanda Williams.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. You guys too.
Good to meet you, Amanda.
What a great day. What a great day. I love when we just go all over the place, but it fits like a perfect little puzzle piece. All the books, I'm going to go look at all of Scott's books. Maybe even the dog pedaling one, though I know it's not ready yet. My dogs are never going to be on it. But, I'm just aligning with all the different things he was talking about. So
I think it's really awesome what people create, and really it should be encouragement to everybody.
Yeah.
What do you want to accomplish today, this week, this year? Set it out, create a plan, find people who can help you achieve that.
Yeah.
And just keep moving forward on it. It's love hearing the stories.
Absolutely. And then, of course, I align with Amanda because I do social media management. So everything that she was saying, I was like, yes, yes, yes.
Right.
Collaboration, not competition. Somehow her and I will network together at some point. I guarantee it.
Right.
And we'll figure out a great way to work together. And maybe she'll get to be an in-person guest on the show.
Definitely.
So yeah, that was great. I love it.
So volunteers, thank you so much for helping out today. And thank you everyone for coming. Join us next week on our show. Next week, we have Crystal Young and Keith Rios.
Those two are great. They come to one of my networking events in the morning, and they both do a lot of digital marketing and stuff like that as well. So they're going to be great guests. Thank you for joining us on this show today. Please help our community grow by reaching out, inviting one person you feel will benefit from being part of the journey. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all the great things. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn every Tuesday at 10 a.m. This little echoes a long way in our reach, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.